Well, that'd probably be why. All right. So, let's. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure. Getting ready, that's for sure.
I'm slow, but
What am I
I'll
ready
do it.
for?
I'm still slow. I'll forever be slow.
Yeah. So, yeah, some interesting things I think are going to come to light, but fewer than I feared were going to once I started looking back at the timeline. Um, you won't learn everything, just a lot of the things. Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, everybody's doing good. So, let's get started. Somebody want to recap for Chris what he missed last?
Thanks, I hate it. The session.
So, according to my notes, we managed to kill a baby Nutangi that had jumped onto our boat. It was a little rough, but not too bad. We then harvested a bunch of meat and bits. We're pretty sure that you can eat the meat, and if it doesn't kill you, it makes you mighty. So we're going to do some stuff with that. So then we sailed to Regilium, where Sadok went to get exercised because he didn't want to have, weird guy in him anymore. That did not go as planned, so we are now in Tyr's realm.
That's an understatement.
It did not go as planned.
Yeah.
We're in Tyr's realm, and officially we're waiting to see what Sadok wants to do about his unwanted head guest.
We are going to have a trial for it because apparently Tyr can get it out of me by basically burning me, whereas Ilmater might be able to get it out without killing me, but will only do so if he judges the betrayer as deserving of punishment.
So all I'm hearing is we could solve this with a fireball.
That does remain an
Yes.
option.
I mean,
But I don't
you're not
want to be
wrong.
fireballed. Like, I will if it comes to it, but
All else being equal, you'd rather not.
not if there's another way. But yes, I do not deny that a fireball could solve this situation, as it can solve every situation.
Well, as the magnitude of an explosion increases.
Exactly.
Alrighty. So yes, Sadok also had a lovely fight in the middle in his mind with the soul piece that he.
Which is
It was
why we
neat.
are now in Tyr's realm.
Gate.
He's kicking my ass.
For the record, for everybody else, that is a one-time gate.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I think I made a pretty good choice with it.
You sure did.
Judging by
You
level
sure
of
did.
frustration it caused, you made exactly the right choice.
That was certainly an oh fuck button. But just for David.
Yeah. Yeah. It's alright though. In exchange, I get to blow your mind several levels early, so that's fun.
Potentially literally.
Well, that's
Okay, just
up to
Sadok.
Sadok. That's up to Sadok. I think Tyr made it very clear he doesn't super want to kill. But yes, let's get to it. So, you guys all left off. Excuse me. You all left off in the office of a solar named Adelum. Adelum and Sadok had a very brief chat in Celestial. Sadok, that'll be what we chatted about after the last session.
Yep.
And after that, he has left you briefly alone in his very beautiful sunlit office. While he goes to ensure that Tyr knows what's going on, assemble a jury, and find some witnesses, if necessary. So you all have a couple minutes to discuss amongst yourselves what you anything you might want to discuss pre-trial. If there is anything.
I'm thinking about it.
So all I need to do is shout objection every time they start to say something, right?
Do you object to everything?
You don't want to do it to everything
Yes.
they say, because you don't want to object to our side. So basically, just anytime Nolan says something,
Nolan?
the betrayer.
Oh.
Sadok, a voice briefly sounds in your head. Speaking of Nolan, I need you to work with me for this trial a little bit. I can't manifest without your permission. And I have a feeling they'll want to see who they're judging.
We'll see.
Up to you.
I mean, out of character, if Ilmater asks for me to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I figure.
If he doesn't, I'm probably not going to.
That's fair.
Do we know anything about the person inside of you?
Yes, they're evil.
I was gonna say, do we really know anything about him? Because what we do know is that he lies a lot.
Yeah, I think Sudoku's the only one who got any kind of glimpse into anything.
Is that he lies a lot. You know, that's not totally inaccurate. Okay, brief rundown of to spare you all from digging through notes and everything. Brief rundown of what you guys know about him thus far.
He lies a lot. He worships a evil god that's chained up somewhere in the middle of Yualia. He hears the evil god screams. He's a douchebag. He needs to get the fuck out of my head.
He wants to he wants to cause another cataclysm.
What's the one of the people who stopped the original cataclysm now?
Sorry?
Yes, he was.
So yes, Earthdream was originally part of the group that stopped Yualia, that the gods hailed as stopping Yualia from being completely destroyed. When did you guys pick up that he wanted to cause another cataclysm?
You wrote it in the common knowledge timeline.
Oh, right.
Yes,
that is in there. That is in there.
He's also essentially the head of the cult we've been fighting, and has been implicated in many shadowy cabals in the timeline of Yualia.
He's got some shadowy cabals, got it.
Yeah, that just about covers it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys... Yeah, he also, started a major war at one point that pitted half the world against the other half.
I mean, who doesn't do that occasionally in their lifetime?
Most people.
Yes, the parkour wars.
Almost everyone.
The correct answer to that is most people. Most people don't do that.
To be fair, I think a lot of that is because most people couldn't.
True. Most
Well.
people aren't the high priest of a trickery god. Um, but yeah. Oh, Earthdream is also supposed to be dead. The warden more or less told you guys that he was alive, but history records him as having died in a 2 versus 1 magical duel with the guy who founded Aventine, a fellow named the Runemonger, and the Primordial of the Druids.
Wait, the druids have a primordial?
It's the title.
It's a
for
title.
The, yeah,
Okay.
it's the title for the head druid.
Which
To
I guess
be
came
fair,
from the
it's an epic
warden.
level druid, so.
Sorry?
To be fair, it's an epic level druid, so.
Yeah, who's, 2,000 years and change old. Yeah. Any further questions about Earthdream in particular?
How do we get him again?
I think you might have missed
Oh,
part of the session.
yeah.
I thought I was there for that, but
No, I don't
So
think you were.
remember Drya? That island with all the Goliaths, where you guys went into that monastery?
yes.
So remember that magically sealed thing in the back?
I'll go with you.
After we killed the mage.
Oh yeah, okay, no, I did miss that one.
Yeah. So you guys killed a mage. You found basically a heavy-duty druidic magic seal that the cult was trying to break into. The Trinity was trying to break into. You fell through, had a conversation. Each of you had your own individual conversation with a elven druid. She found you, Bauer, very mortal but very charming.
I
Yeah,
believe
which is
that
still
term
weird.
was super hot. I could be misremembering.
You're definitely misremembering. She definitely did not refer to Bauer as super.
I think the intention was there.
I think we worked out that she was 52 times Bauer's age, so
Age is
there's
just
that.
a number.
As proven by the potion.
Sure. Yeah. And then Sadok, she called herself the warden, and she let Sadok into. Well, Sadok, why don't you explain what you did?
The nice druid lady told me to touch something, so I touched it because she seemed trustworthy. I don't see what's wrong with that.
And
Giggity?
well, the thing.
Not that kind of thing. It was one of the. You remember when we met Realm? There were a bunch of little ghost spirit things floating around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Okay.
Except it happened to contain part of, what was maybe the Antichrist / this guy. No.
She seemed trustworthy.
I'm reasonably sure she gave you a warning beforehand.
I mean, she might have warned me. She didn't tell me not to do it. She told me to do it.
Yeah, I'm just hearing a lot of mixed signals here.
So yeah, that's how Sadok got up of Nolan Earthdream hiding in his head. Which is just so much fun. Yeah. So, you still have a few minutes to discuss anything you want to discuss pre-trial. If there is anything.
Is there anything Sadok wants us to do?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what to ask at this point. Like what to ask you guys to do.
Because my experience with trials is shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but we're not the defendants.
Nevertheless, we don't want to become defendants by saying the wrong thing.
So just say objection. I got it.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is that Ilmater is the judge, right? That you,
Tyr is the judge.
Oh, Tyr is.
Tyr is the god of justice around here.
Okay.
Ilmater insists, though, that there is a trial.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I've got nothing.
What is going to happen?
Don't piss off Tyr.
We have no intention of causing strife with the gods. But how does a trial work with the gods?
I'm not entirely sure. Is Adelum still around?
Adelum is not currently around. He's still gathering potential witnesses.
Okay.
Issuing instant summonses.
I'm sure that he will explain anything we need to know about it.
I am sure he will too.
That's my in-character response to Christona.
But this betrayer in Sadok's mind is not the true betrayer, right?
More like a memory or a fragment.
How does one pass judgment on memory?
Damned if I know.
Unfortunately, you're also damned if nobody else does.
Well, yes. But that's why we're here.
We are very confused by all of this.
Sadok.
Yep.
Nolan's voice will sound in your head again. For the record, I'm not a memory. I'm more of a fragment. Something he cut off and left behind. Pronouns get weird when you're talking about yourself, but not yourself. But you get what I mean.
I wish Christona could hear that.
Yeah. I'm just not going to respond.
All right. All right. Given a couple more minutes, and Adelum will reappear from going to find everybody he needs. I've assembled a jury. I've spoken to the Lord Tyr, and we're ready for the trial. Sadok, what are you guys trying to prove here? Bauer's questioning this.
I believe that's what the fragment is trying to prove. It's worth saving. Like, we're trying to prove that it's worthy of execution.
Is there another option to get rid of it other than the fireball to your face?
Ilmater can probably remove it in a less fireball-y fashion. But he wants a trial first.
Right, but those are the two options, right? Either fireball to the face or he can get rid of it, which also then kills.
Or it just stays in me.
You've always wanted a friend, right? A roommate?
That kind of friend.
Only if he helps with the rent.
I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can work something out if it means he'll keep surviving.
He was trying to do that, and Sadok's just like, I'm gonna take you to my god and let him decide.
Yeah, Sadok went holy fury on him.
He also did threaten him first. That's fair.
Yeah, you were trying to exorcise him.
Perfectly reasonable thing to do.
You're just full of reasonable things, like touching fragments.
I gotta say, that has to be my favorite thing that you guys have done. More than I've managed to get you guys to do. Actually, no, second favorite. First was Abe.
Fucking hell, Ave.
But that's a discussion for another time.
Wait, was there a session I missed? When did we do Ave?
Ave, as in, I managed to get you guys to not kill him in the first session and keep him around for like a while.
Ah.
But yeah, back to the D&D game at hand. Adelum returns. Trials ready? Are you all ready? Have you any questions before we begin?
What do you need us to do?
We will ask you and yours to stand witness. We will ask you and yours to stand witness, to tell of the crimes of the betrayer.
We
You may
did not witness directly. It is long in our past.
Well, most of those here have not heard of him. Yualia is clouded from our sight. So even if you are only to tell us of what he has done in the past, it is valuable. You may He sighed a little. You may even have to bear witness for the anima, should it come to that.
Nod.
John looks confused, but
The basic format of the trial will be we will enter, present our defendant, I suppose, to the Lord Tyr. We will present our reasons for his destruction. It will attempt to defend itself. Does that seem clear?
Yes.
Kristan's looks confused, but stays quiet for now.
Adelum will likely notice that. He turns to Kirstona. Just answer whatever questions are asked of you, please.
We can answer, but we are not sure if the answer will not be unknown.
We only ask that you do your best and that you tell the truth.
Give a slight nod at that.
All right. Shall we?
Or the girl stands up.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, Adelum nods to you all and leads you out of his office, across the beautiful plaza before the courthouse, and up to its doors. The courthouse is quite literally the ideal that others are based upon. And as you knock at the doors open for you to reveal a courtroom that, again, is quite literally the ideal that others are built around. The walls are purest white marble with perfectly round pillars supporting the angled roof. You all walk up a central aisle, flanked on either side by rows of hardwood benches, which are being filled before your eyes by teleporting devas, archons, and other residents of the heavens. At the far end of the courtroom, in front of the rows of spectator benches, sit two tables, one for the defense and one for the prosecution, which Adelum guides you all to. Across from you is the judge's seat, with a witness seat next to it on a lower level. Off to your right, there is an alcove with 12 chairs, all already filled with angels, ready to do their duty as jurors. Another solar, some small bits of sand visible on his robes, calls to the room. All rise for the entrance of Lord Tyr, the judge of this courthouse. A man in a fur cape and armor enters from the back. He is missing one hand and has a blindfold tied over his eyes, but he moves as if he knows exactly where everything is and exactly where he's going. Lord Tyr, the even-handed, the wounded god, the just god, takes his seat at the head of the courtroom, and his voice rumbles as he says, "Please be seated." He pauses for a moment as those present are seated. This court is now in session. Lord Adelum, Sadok, I would look upon our defendant, if you would.
What exactly can I do here? Like, can I summon him? that?
Nolan's voice comes into your head. Look, all you have to do is give me permission to come out. I've been awake a fucking hour, kid. I don't have the strength to fight you to come out on my own. Just say the word. And
Alright.
I come out.
I'll invite him out.
Thank you. Nolan's, the feeling of something watching you vanishes from your head. And out of a poof of black mist materializes Nolan Earthdream. About 6 feet tall, brown hair, brown eyes, fair skin, dressed in black with the symbol of Trinity on it emblazoned on his chest, in clerical robes. He looks up to Tyr and bows his head. I'm Nolan Earthdream. I'm apparently known as the Betrayer and High Priest of the god Tatius, creator of Yualia. Sit, Earthdream. The table over there is ready for you. Earthdream goes, mimes pulling out the chair behind the table, and moves right through it to pretend to sit down. Lord Adelum, Sadok, I would ask that you speak and address the court. Describe the crimes of this Nolan Earthdream for all to hear. Call witnesses as you must. And Tyr sits back into his chair. Adelum turns to Sadok. Sadok, would you mind giving them a brief overview? Tell them what you know. Describe what he's done. Please.
Sure. So we'll just give them the basic background, or start with just the basic background in the common knowledge timeline.
Sure. Wherever you think is appropriate.
Basically just like a quick, like, brief rundown of like a couple sentences of the cataclysm and the following aftermath, and then go more into depth about the Betrayer's War and how he essentially launched the world back into war. I'm trying to think of like what specific bad things that we like know that this guy has done, rather than just like, oh, he's shadowy and evil.
Use your imagination. I'm deadly serious here.
He possessed you.
The specific history. I'm not writing the full fucking history of a 6-year war.
Right.
But dude basically created a world war. There are any number of legends and historical facts about what he was responsible for.
Make up war crimes.
Okay.
I mean, not necessarily. Sure, you know what? Use your imagination. Give me some things that he might have done during the war, or since. You know, he's been alive for 1300-ish years since. Give me some things that he might have done as part of these shadowy cabals that he has been a part of.
Well, so he was also a like super high level spellcaster, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's
Yes, he is.
definitely just like exploded several islands then, and cities during the war. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, that is one.
Probably was like so long ago that it was back in 3.5. You probably used a locate city nuke.
He definitely used a peasant railgun at one point.
Yeah, so you can add to his list of crimes abusing the laws of physics. During the war, I mean, he's probably not just restricted to war, like fighting like actual armies. So numerous innocents killed both on his command and by his hand. But many of the stories of the war are obviously lost to legend. So unless Adelum has some witnesses who can speak to the truth about that, most of what Sadok knows, or at least suspects, is going to be the result of the cult, the Trinity, whose colors the betrayer wears even in Tyr's court, not trying to hide his guilt. Which the cult has been responsible for most likely many of the evils that Yualia has faced over the past 1,000 years, including the deaths of countless more, well above what the war itself caused. Various liches and other evil things rising to power, and generally just destabilizing civilization and the church as we know it.
All right. Adelum, is there anything you'd care to add? Anything else?
He possessed you.
Oh yeah, Flossie's in my head without my consent. Sorry, I'm looking through a few of the other knowledge sheets you shared. And it has most likely corrupted a number of other church agents. Are they familiar with, like, am I speaking to Tyr or am I speaking to the jury? I'm assuming the jury doesn't know anything about Yualia.
The jury does not know anything about Yualia. They are, in fact, selected specifically because they don't know anything about Yualia.
I'm trying to decide if I want drop a few names. No, I think we'll leave it at that. At corrupting numerous church agents and using them to wreak more havoc.
Fair enough. Adelum will motion you back towards the bench and whisper, "Well said, Sadok. Make a charisma check for me. Persuasion, if you have.
Well,
With advantage, actually.
well,
Well, you did your best." The jury mutters amongst themselves a little bit as you sit back down. Adelum will stand back up and call to briefly call order amongst the jury. I would like to invite some others as well to share their stories of what Earth Dream's cult has done to their world. First, I would like to invite the companions of our treasured instrument, Sadok, to share their story. Captain Diggeroy, would you approach the stand, please?
Diggory is rather nervous, but he approaches the stand, fakes confidence.
Make a deception check to hide for faking. All right, you do a pretty good job. The jury would swear that you're confident. So you seat yourself behind at the witness stand. You are actually just below the right hand of Tyr himself as you sit there. His blindfolded head turns to face you and watch you intently.
Yeah.
Adela comes towards you. Captain Diggeroy, where did you first encounter the cult known as Trinity?
That would have been. See the world map, or is that on the handout?
It would be
That's Visherod, right?
the Visherod, yeah. We
Twerp.
kicked them off of it.
On the isle known as Visherod.
And what was the cult doing on this island, Captain Diggeroy?
Principally establishing a base of operations, although they were also involved in digging through the island to see what treasures they could find.
Captain Diggeroy, is not the place you call the Visherod, a factory of Warforged?
It currently is.
Was Trinity performing any experiments with said Warforged, whom, the court notes for the benefit of the jury, are in fact sentient beings?
Sentient, but incapable of freedom. They were built to be slaves. But yes, some were there experiments? Yes, some
They were
experiments
fucking
were
with
being
them.
conducted.
And when you attempted to approach the members of Trinity, how did they react to your presence?
They attacked.
Thank you. What other encounters have you had with these people?
Several on different islands in Yualia, in the southern sea. They are fairly active in the region, engaged in different activities, typically seeking old things for their own purposes and taking what they need by force whenever they can.
Could you give a specific example of what they've been looking for, Captain Diggeroy?
What were they looking for on the island with the ruins? What was the name of that island?
Bugari.
Bugari. On the island of Bugari, they were seeking.
That's where they were looking for the orb that had
Yeah,
like 9,000 demons trapped inside of it.
they were specifically looking for an orb known to contain a number of demons. We were later able to confirm the number as 9,009.
They were seeking to take this extremely dangerous item from its hiding place to do something with it.
I do not
that
know what
correct?
their intentions with it were. They never told us.
Fair enough.
We turned it over to the church, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
did, yes. You sensibly decided that
Fuck, we don't want to hold
imprisonment
on to
focus. You sensibly decided that an imprisonment focus for 9,009 powerful demons was not something you should carry around casually. And so you turned it over to the church.
There was also, we'll volunteer, the facility on Yualia, where they were digging to find, in that case, the master of their cult.
Who is, I believe, our defendant today.
That is who they found.
Indeed. But evidence suggests that wherever he came from is whomever he came from is the master of their cult.
I don't have evidence that he is not.
Thank you, Captain Diggeroy. We appreciate your candor and openness with the court. You may return to the bench with the others, if you please.
Thank you. Sits back down.
All right. Court would also like to call for witness the being who calls themselves Cristona.
Just gonna stand up and walk forward, neutral expression. Slightly confused, but trying to push it back to neutral.
Cristona, you have traveled with Captain Diggeroy and Sadok. You have encountered Trinity in the same places as they have, I gather. Are
Yes.
there any details that you think are pertinent that dear Sadok or Captain Diggeroy may have forgotten to mention?
I just kind of look down, think a bit, slowly look back up. Experimentation on the Viscerad involved the rot, the corruption that has been spreading from the below world of Yualia to the surface for as long as we have existed in this form. It eats the organic and the inorganic. It corrupts the sentient. It causes pain to the earth.
Adelon looks a little concerned at that. And what were they doing with it in these experiments that you described?
Like, I'm having that right. They were using the rod a little bit in the experiments with the Warforged, right? Am I completely misremembering what the heck happened there?
I totally have no clear memory of what precisely they were doing.
Like, I was
They
reading
were
your notes a
unable-
little bit.
About mine are just like memory jogging.
Yeah, like, because
So,
yours
if-
mentioned...
as my memory and my notes go, they were not. Trinity was unable to get into the actual factory and get at any of the Warforged.
Oh.
They had a lot of scrap Warforged parts that they were trying to put together. But Diggeroy was the one who had the key to get into the actual factory.
Shit. And never mind any of that. Would not have said that. Sorry. That was just me completely
Whoa.
misremembering what part got what. So basically they were just kind of... Shit. Trying to remember all my facts straight.
They were being criminals there. Generally being criminals like us there.
You're the one that mentioned experimenting there.
Eh,
They were experimenting. They were trying to build new Warforged there.
Oh. Shit. Let's see. Well, he already mentioned that, so let's see. Oh, I guess something she can mention. On the island of Virgilium, the cultists of... these cultists were attempting to free... and points to Nolan, and in the process had chained up, had made a prisoner, a golden dragon.
One of our noble golden brethren, chained by these people.
Yes.
For what purpose?
He said that it was because they needed him to help open the thing, right? Or... Yeah. They were attempting to use him to break through the wards holding the anima inside.
Keeping a golden dragon hostage to try and free their evil leader. How terrible. Kristana, thank you for your honesty and candor. You may sit. Return to the bench, please.
Give a nod at that and slowly walk back over.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Adelum turns to Bauer. Bauer, would you please come bear witness for the
I
trial?
object.
You object to bearing witness against Nolan Earthdream?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to say, so
Adelum looks kind of lost for words, but nods. I suppose that's fair enough. Um, I have several other witnesses who I would like to call as well. In the interest of time, I will keep them. I will just name them and give a brief description of them. He runs through a brief list of other instruments in Yualia. So he calls up a few who actually lived through the Betrayers' War and were instrumental in the elimination of the Silver Breeze, the people who actually trapped him in the first place. He calls up somebody who he refers to as Minor Omega, who was a particularly notorious wizard who once wiped out an island and made a career out of banishing demons and
Guy's my hero.
yeah, do you want to paste Minor Omega's record real quickly into chat?
Sure.
Oh boy.
Who who eventually was killed due to mental trauma suffered from banishing demons summoned by Trinity. Yeah.
Also, I was thinking of the wrong person. I think it was Steel Angel who was my hero.
God, they fucking would be.
Oh dear.
They fucking would be. And he runs through several other instruments and clerics of Tyr who worked in Yualia and who've run into the cult, and who describe what they witnessed at their hands. Various atrocities, summonings of demons, creations of aberrations and monstrosities, killing of innocents, attempted overthrowings of kings, lords, and barons, the works. Eventually, Adelum dismisses his last witness and turns to Nolan. Well, I believe it's your turn to defend yourself. If you have any witnesses to call in your defense, or any words to say, we invite you to them. Earthream just grins a little and stands as Adelum sits behind the bench next to the four of you. All right. So, I have a few things I wanted to say. First off, you, what was it he called you? Captain Diggeroy? What year is it in Yualia right now?
I don't know the answer to that. Jeff doesn't know the answer to that question.
It's 1497.
1497. By the whatever calendar.
After Cataclysm.
After Cataclysm.
1497 AC. Well, shit. So it's been 1,300 fucking years since I was around. Give or take a little bit. I am not Nolan Earthdream. I was, but I am no longer. Earthdream made a choice a long time ago. Before he started that war you all were talking about. My memory is a little fuzzy after then. He went through himself, bits of himself. Found the parts of himself he thought were too soft and started cutting them off. That's where me and the other little anima that you'll find around of him come from. Were the parts of him that he thought were too soft to keep, to do what he was going to do. So I'm not him. I'm not responsible for his crimes. I'm not worthy of this fire and brimstone shit.
Objection. He tried to fireball me. In my brain.
And you were trying to exorcise me from your brain.
That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
You woke me up for the first time in 1,300 years with the mental equivalent of stabbing me in the back, kid.
Not stabbing you in the back. Stabbing you in the front.
You're kind of proving my point here. I was rather upset by the fact that the first anything I'd felt was a stab in the back, and then an angry whatever you are, who basically tried to kill me. Any more comments to that, kid?
An exorcism isn't killing, but I'm gonna let him continue.
Second, I want to give an alternate theory, so to speak. Even if I were Earthdream, which I am not, I offer another defense for his actions. And it's that the world is fucking shrinking. Yualia is slowly but surely wearing away. And whatever the scholars might tell you about the waterfalls over the edge, no, they're not the cause. We're not eroding into dust. We're slowly wasting away because one of our creators, one of the three of them, is locked away. His power chained, his essence unable to sustain the world that he helped build. Earth Dream, my former self, I'm going to refer to him as Earth Dream, base Earth Dream for now. Earth Dream, base Earth Dream, was trying to find a way to, stop the collapse. We in those days were driven. We would stop at nothing to fucking find the answer. And the answer we found after we realized the collapse, after we realized what was going on, was that Haitius needed to be freed. Was that the world would die without him. Without all three of the gods who built Yualia being there to sustain it. He turns to the four of you. You want to know what really caused the cataclysm? What really broke Yualia? What killed millions, destroyed the greatest magical treasures, hell, in most of the multiverse? You want to know what really did it? He leans in real close to the four of you. They did. Atula and Gamir did. Because they found out that my god, Haitius, the god of both trickery and life, bound them both to this place, to Yualia. Sorry, I guess it's not this place anymore. But he bound them to it. Made sure that they could never fucking leave. Because he wanted there to be a safe place for those caught in the war. Haitius was the one who wanted to build a shelter. Atula and Gamir were just pawns to him. They always thought it was about saving all their worshippers. But when they found out that he'd bound them to Yualia, they cast him down. The flaming, burnt, and beaten body of a god fell to earth on Yualia and shattered it. Earth Dream Prime, wherever he is now, whatever he's doing, I have no doubt that it's in service of a better Yualia, of one that isn't going to fade to dust in the next couple of centuries. We gave it 2,000 years from Cataclysm. maximum. Decay's probably already starting. That's where I wanted to call my first witness, if I could. Gets a little bit of a grin over his face. They called you Cristona, right? Could you go back to the witness stand, please?
Pause slightly, but eventually stand up again and walk over.
Now, Cristona, you seem unique. I've never seen a elf or drow specifically look quite so many spores in them. Where did you come from, Cristona?
There's a pause, looks over to the what was it, a solar, and then back. We come from what is called, and then she uses the undercommon name for the original, what she translates as below world.
Right. And how did you come to be as you are today?
We escaped corruption within tunnels in the below world. There were ones trying to escape also, including the Kristana, and kind of gestures to just back it herself. They were chased by ones that look similar but not the same. The drow. They all fell, but the Cristona was the only one that could accept us and move forward to leave. We became one and escaped together to the surface.
And what were you escaping from, Cristona?
We call it the rot, the corruption that spread through our tunnels, our caves, and ate everything in its path. The others like us, the others not like us, everything.
And this rot, I imagine it's... Oh, I don't know. I imagine it doesn't like the sea very much. I imagine anybody who's been given powers by Gamir, it lashes out at. I imagine it calms, so to speak, dissipates when it's been blessed or otherwise appeased.
It has not shown up in the sea from what we have learned. It It gets angry, it lashes out, and it also wanes and becomes dormant. It can move slowly, or it can spread quickly. Yeah, I don't know who. I'm trying to remember, like.
You haven't gotten to I haven't had the chance to give you guys a demonstrative Gamir culture yet, like with the Great Beards and Atula. But he and Atula are. We'll talk about this. He and Atula are basically diametrically opposed creators of Yualia, as you guys know it. Atula is goddess of the earth. Gamir created the sea and skies, and together, according to classical creation myths on Yualia, they ferried their worshippers over during the Dawn War.
Interesting. Okay.
And you made it sound like it takes people. Does it control them? Does it kill them? Something else?
It corrupts, it destroys, or it creates things unnatural, contorts, causes the world pain, causes creatures pain, causes them to decay, but not as natural decay that we understand. This is foul.
So, Kristana, you're a druid. How is dear old Atula doing these days? How is the Earth Mother?
Like looks him in the eye for a moment and then frowns and glances down. She is angry almost always. Always. We try to calm sometimes, but she screams. Screams.
I see. He turns back to everyone else and to the jury. Now, I've been asleep a while, and I don't exactly know this for sure. But I'd give you good odds. 10 to 1, no, 100 to 1 odds that rot is Atula making her rage known, making her play for this world. You said it corrupts people, controls them? That's Atula trying to gain power, trying to gain champions for herself. I bet you, even now, or maybe sometime in the last decade or two, Gamir's been doing the same thing. trying to claim the skies, trying to find champions, the sort who would claim the seas for themselves and everything on it, or something similar like that. Maybe grant them some measure of his power. Captain Diggeroy, would you happen to know of... You're a sailing man, you look like. You call yourself captain. Would you happen to know of anybody like that? Someone trying to claim the seas for themselves? Someone who might have unnatural powers?
There are persons who have made such claims. Some more credibly than others.
Would you happen to know any of them, Captain Diggeroy?
The most credible claim would be my own former commander.
Nolan grins widely. So Atula and Gamir are making their plays. They figured out the same thing Earthdream has. That if they stay on Yualia for too long, it'll crumble. And they'll crumble with it. Because they are irreversibly tied to the place. Because of Hatius. Because of my god. The one they locked away. And without him unlocked, there is no way at all to undo that collapse. Whatever he does, Earthdream does for others. Atula and Gamir, they find their champions, they spread their power, they fight like cats and dogs, trying to claim Yualia for themselves. Because they figure, if they can claim the entirety of it, my guess is they think they can free themselves. Break out from the world, leave the other two gods to die, and ascend to be amongst the rest of you. He says, he looks up at Tyr as he says that. But in doing so, they leave our world to die. I don't like what he's done. I hate it. Despise it. He's gone further than I ever would. Much, much further. But Earthdream, at least, is doing what he does. What he's doing. Establishing Trinity, doing whatever else it takes to save Yualia. That's his goal. While I, again, am not a part of him, have not been for a long time, and he deemed me too soft to help with what he was doing, to be a part of it, to even witness it, apparently. I don't I don't think I deserve to die for the crimes of someone else. Let alone somebody who's trying to save everybody, as flawed as he may be. Nolan bows to Tyr and goes to take his seat.
Sana seems trying to say something but doesn't actually, because got told to shut the fuck up in the cover room.
Adelum, or Sadok. Sorry. Tyr speaks again in his rumbling voice. Adelum, Sadok. Have you anything further to say?
Why would Tula and Gamir only begin acting recently if what you claim is true?
Earthdream shrugs. I don't know. Maybe it took them a while to gather the strength. Maybe they didn't fully realize what they were doing, or what they'd already done. Their actions in not realizing that they were bound to Yualia in the first place, I think, should demonstrate that they're not exactly perfect or omniscient.
Stone of Rounds. They became slaves.
Can you offer any proof or evidence of your claims?
Kid, the best evidence I have is coming from inside your head. And that's not that much. What I have told you, and Lord Tyr, I'm certain, can confirm this for you. What I told you about Cataclysm, about what they did to Haitius, my god, whose name I should really spell for you guys, actually, about Earthdream cutting me away, about the reasons for the establishment of Trinity, that is all true. That is history as it happened. Directly from someone who lived through most of it. After that, there's a big gap. I woke up, I think, a couple hours ago from a 1300-year sleep. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. But it makes sense. To me, at least.
So out of character, I know he said the world was shrinking. Did he also say it was going to end because of that?
It's basically eventually going to crumble. TLDR, Yualia requires... TLDR, Yualia requires... Well, he can explain this to you in character if you ask him. But TLDR, yes, Yualia will eventually crumble into dust.
I'm trying to be sure that I actually understand what he was saying. So he was saying that Haitius, during their God War, told Atula and Gamir to come to Yualia with him and set everything up there and bring all their people there. And then he basically backstabbed them and kept them stuck. So Kristen is thinking he enslaved them and
That's... It's not an invalid interpretation of what he did. basically, Haitius tricked Gamir and Atula into helping him create Yualia. All three of them gave a sizable chunk of their divine essence to the task. Atula and Gamir, however, didn't realize that in doing so, they bound themselves to Yualia.
Was it just them, or was it Haitius too?
Haitius too.
Okay.
Haitius is subject to the same restraints as Atula and Gamir.
Okay. So just in retribution for the fact that he totally lied to them, they took it a step further and had him kind of chained up. Somehow. And then, because of that, things are kind of like he doesn't have the strength, or he can't put out the strength to keep everything even keel with them. So, because the other two are fighting each other, they're kind of using that kind of power against each other and kind of using it up, and therefore the world is kind of collapsing because of it. Is that what the basic gist?
Close enough, yeah. They can't keep it going with just the two of them, and Haitius is bound up, imprisoned.
But they don't seem to know that.
What they know or don't know is unclear at this point. Like, Nolan's making his best guesses based on what he knows about their actions.
And that's a good point about it kind of jumping further now, or seeming to have come up recently rather than steadily.
It's. I feel like I should make this very clear. He is not omniscient. He does not. Nolan doesn't know everything.
Right.
He is very clearly making his best guess as to what Atul and Gamir are doing and what their thoughts are. It is an educated guess, but it is a guess. His bits about history and cataclysm and everything else are his experiences as he lived them. They're about as close to true as you're going to get. But his assertions about present day events are his best guesses as to what's going on.
He knew that. Did he not explain before starting wars?
He tried. He tried. The others were afraid. Most of the world had just been destroyed by the last time, by Atul and Gamir's last confrontation with the truth. And their hurtling of Haitius to earth. Part of it was that they were afraid of what would happen if we all tried to unseal him again. Prim, I know, wanted to find her own solution to these things. So did Doc. But there was no guarantee of one.
Just kind of frowns. If truth, the gods have right to be angry and scream. They were chained as he is in some form. No truth, only lies.
Maybe. I've never claimed Haitius to be perfect. Tula and Gamir aren't either.
But you follow him over them, knowing he lied.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. So but you or Earth Dream chose to follow him above all the others.
I did. I chose to follow him before we knew what he'd done. I chose to follow him when I was very young. And I chose to keep following him despite everything. Because I believed that what they did, providing shelter for millions of people during the Dawn War, was a good idea. And I chose to keep following him. I chose to keep following him because I didn't want to give up on Yualia just yet. Because every day I heard him screaming. But some days he didn't just scream. He pleaded. Have you ever heard a god plead for mercy, Cristona? Have any of you heard it? Your god? The one you followed for centuries? The voice you used to trust above all others? Twisted in pain? Begging for release?
We've only heard Atula's screams, rage, and pain.
And they hurt, didn't they? Didn't feel good to listen to them while you were, did it?
No.
Imagine that in your head every day for 200 years.
You chose
I'd
to
bet
follow
you're mad.
after the lies.
Sorry?
You chose to trust after the lies. Why?
I did. I thought it was for the best. We realized maybe a century after the cataclysm that cracks were starting to show, that the world was failing a little. The magic wasn't quite the same. We put it together pretty quickly that it was Haitius's sealing that caused it. And we wanted to undo it.
Was there none among you who could talk to Tula and Gamir and explain first.
We tried. Prim tried with Atula. We all tried with Gamir. We even tried, if the Lord Tyr remembers, we even tried reaching out to him. But Tyr nods very briefly. None of them would listen. As I recall, Gamir laughed in my face when I asked that Haitius be freed.
What did you try to tell them exactly?
That the world would die, and they would with it. They didn't want it. Not from me.
Not from one who followed the one who lied to them.
Not from any of us. They didn't give a shit. There's a fellow, part of the group I adventured with. His name was Skull. I think he set himself up as some kind of Primarch these days. He was a paladin. Followed Atula. Gathered followers to her. Showed strength. Showed conviction. Did his best to demonstrate her ideals. When we met them, just before the cataclysm, he bowed to her, gave her his sword, and offered everything he had to her. She brushed him aside. Told him nothing he'd ever do would be good enough, basically. They weren't interested in talking. Not to us. If you've no further questions, I'd like to sit down. Tyr stands. We will reconvene in 15 minutes. We'll take a brief recess for the jury and for prosecution and the judge to absorb what they have heard. Reconvene in 15 minutes' time in the courtroom. Tyr walks back into his office and leaves the courtroom for now. Adelum Adele and everybody's going AFK. I'm gonna go wait until you guys are back. Unless
That
Sudoku, you have
timing,
any
though.
unless you guys have any burning questions that you want answered immediately.
No.
Cool. Thoughts?
That was one hell of a lore dump.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be like, fuck this guy because he's doing a bunch of evil shit, regardless of his reasons. But that doesn't really make sense for Sudoku because that's exactly what Sudoku would do.
If it helps, Earth Dream of today is pretty fucking insane.
I'm sure.
Like, Guy. So, Nolan in your head is talking about. Nolan in your head is talking about how bad it was to hear it for like 200 years. Earth Dream out there has been hearing it for a lot longer. He's been pretty well off the deep end for a while.
Oh yeah, I was talking more about this one than
Oh yeah,
the
fair.
actual one.
But yeah, he's quite something. I wasn't planning on telling you guys this for a while, but you kind of forced my hand. So yeah, surprise, the world is shrinking. So
Well, fuck.
I think we're gonna wait for Jeff to get back. Because this can be, I guess this can also be an out of character recess. But yeah, the world is shrinking, and all the common knowledge things you know may be wrong. So that's fun.
Everything is a lie! Everything is a lie!
To be fair, given the circumstances of this, that will probably be the last time I have to like be like, ah, haha, everything you know is this campaign. Because yeah, I was not planning on dropping all of this on you guys at once or this early. But you successfully derailed my plans.
Yay! 9th level spells at level 7. Hard to imagine that could possibly derail a campaign.
I gave you one. You
Okay.
certainly figured out a way to apply it for maximum disruption. Hey, Jeff.
Hola.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you have about 15 minutes to just 15 or so minutes in character, while Tyr and the others, while Tyr and the jury and Adelum as well, absorb everything that they just learned. Thoughts?
I wonder if the Pirate King knows. That's what's going through Digroy's head, honestly.
What correct answer is there?
correct? Depends on what your
Hatius
goal is.
was wrong. The other gods are angry, but they are not. It is with good reason. But everyone. This world is in the middle.
I'm not going to pass judgment on gods. Here, of all places, they do their own thing. Question is, what do we do with this thing now?
That is a good question.
Stona's gonna look over to Sadok and gauge his reaction to all this.
I mean, it doesn't really change anything for me. Whatever Tyr decides is what's gonna happen at this point.
It would be nice to know what he knows, but we need to be in control. Or it ain't worth it.
If it is all true, then how are gods convinced if those that had the most power among them would not be listened to?
That's another excellent question.
If the rot is a Tula, and Tula is the rot, we do not know how to fight it anymore. We do not know whether fighting is right against the earth itself. Is it natural? Is the unnatural natural? It's like looking more and more like kind of like furrowed brow, kind of like trying to get their head around that.
It's killing people, including me. I don't care what it is. That makes it the enemy.
Everything dies, Diggeroy. That is natural, but... yeah, right? Basically 404. Blue screen of Death Christona. Things die, things decay, and new life comes, but the only difference is that if the world is ending, no new life can come. The cycle ends. But the gods are part of the cycle. We need
break?
them. Sorry, I missed your last thing.
This guy's right. The gods are the one breaking the cycle right now. Well, some of them.
A cycle requires all of its pieces to continue.
So killing the gods won't work.
Never know unless you try.
First, you got to get their attention.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to try to kill a god, it would be better to ambush them than get their attention.
I was referring to percussive maintenance step 1. First, you get its attention.
How does one ambush the earth and the sea and the sky?
Very careful.
Fire? With things outside of the natural cycle?
Christina like scrunches her nose at that, just sourly.
Digoroid's having a thought, but he doesn't want to think it too loud.
You don't have anybody hiding in your head. Go ahead. Think it out loud.
Well, the Warforged don't have gods.
You're the new god now.
You know, some of my characters worried about being arrogant. Not in this game.
That would be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah. Like thinking it over. If the gods leaving would cause destruction, then would not death also cause destruction? Their
Destruction
power,
causes death.
their power holds everything together. If that is so, losing the gods means losing the power.
It
Out of
is a
character,
conundrum.
unless in killing them you take their power in place.
I'm looking at
Or have another god ready.
For things about killing gods, I suggest you consult prior examples of things killing gods. It has happened a couple times in the broader cosmic sense. Not necessarily local to Yualia, but in the broader cosmic sense, things have killed gods before.
But best not to bring that up in the court of the gods.
No, probably not. You are literally in Mount Celestia right now. There's a plethora of gods on the plane. Maybe best not to bring up killing gods around.
Not the best place to contemplate deicide.
Would would those who exist here have more knowledge of how to sustain the land, but free gods. Or get them to listen.
Sodok, what do you think?
I mean, they probably have a better idea about how to go either one than we do.
To be fair, a better idea than us is not a huge leap at this point.
Exactly. So they've at least got a better idea than us. Whether or not that it means they have any good ideas, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember who all was fighting who in the Dawn Wars.
That's the primordials versus the gods.
Aha.
Primordials versus gods, mortals, what mortals existed caught in the crossfire. That's I'm pretty sure it's called the Dawn War. I'm remembering that part. I'm quoting from memory. But that's like established Forgotten Realms D&D canon. That's not something I came up with.
Seems a little weird that our elf friend would call themselves a primordial. Well, technically she didn't call herself that recently, but the fact that I guess any of the druids would call themselves primordial knowing that.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's like a long time ago, though. Like, the current primordials, 2K and change. Dawn War, I think at this point in the timeline is 20 something thousand years ago, 24 maybe thousand years. It's been a long time. Primordials, same as they're remembered in most canon D&D places, are kind of just remembered as supercharged elementals. Very old elementals. And so, druids tap into elemental forces. The most powerful one of them is probably going to be real fucking old. And in naming logic, it all hooks together. But yeah. What a lovely problem you've been presented with.
Surprise!
Yeah. Any further thoughts on your current situation? You still have some time left in the recess before you have to go back into court.
We wish Garrett was here for advice, knowledge. This is much different than we expected.
Diggeroy,
Mm-hmm.
Zadok, Bauer, any further thoughts?
Nope, not for me.
Nothing short term.
Cool.
Does Bauer object?
Probably.
Should I be objecting at my lack of objection?
I'm objecting to your lack of objection.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't object to anything in what he said. He talked for like half a fucking hour.
Bauer fell asleep.
I was having a hard time finding a good place to interject, but
That's fair. I'll add some nice dramatic pauses for you next time.
not so much
somebody.
just failing at figuring a funny place to do it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Mhm. You hear from within the courtroom a small bell tingling, signaling the end of the recess. Adelum appears to usher you all back inside.
Kristana keeps her head down and is just thinking the entire time. Maybe going a little bit slower than usual.
You re-enter the same courtroom as before. Tyr comes out from his office behind the desk, behind the chair, and seats himself once more. Have the prosecution or the defense anything further to say in this trial? Nolan looks up. No. I've said all I wanted to say. Kid, you got anything else you want to say? Maybe some more, I don't know, talking about how evil I am and terrible things I've done. Or Earthstream Prime has done.
I think that's already been covered.
Fair enough. Then I'm done. Sounds like the kid's done. I'm also done. Adelum will speak up. Tyr will stand. Jury. Do you find yourselves able to render a verdict in this case? One of the jurors stands. We do. We find that the fragment of Nolan Earthdream is not worthy of destruction, Lord Tyr. Tyr nods. I agree. He produces an enormous hammer and bangs it on the desk in front of him like a gavel. It resounds. It gives a resounding boom as he does. Anima of Nolan Earthdream. You are free. Go. Your knowledge and the ideas you bring are concerning to me. I hope that you, Sadok, and he looks directly at you through his blindfold, and the others of your order will work to see this disaster averted with any tools necessary.
Stand and give a bow.
Fear not. No. Nolan. Sadok. Ilmater has suggested another option to me during our recess. If, Sadok, you wish, Ilmater will remove Earthdream from you. Take his soul to the afterlife. Heal him of his pain. Or you may keep him with you. Or we may burn him, as you and Adelum discussed. Mater insisted that I let you choose.
Well, you have just instructed me to use everything at my disposal, and seems at the moment this anima is at my disposal.
Tyr grins. That is the correct answer, young Sadok. Come closer. Approach my throne,
I
all four of you.
walk up to it.
Stand and follow him.
The desk and pulpit from which Tyr was sitting, at which Tyr was sitting, fades away. He stands at first 30 feet tall before you, before he shrinks down to a much more reasonable, around 8 feet. These are disturbing news from Yualia. Sadok, all of you, I would ask that you do your best to protect those who live on Yualia, to save them from this coming trying time, from the disaster that awaits them. Whatever it takes. To that end, should you choose to accept it. I will grant you all one bit of strength from myself, and one small boon for each of you. Should you choose to accept it.
I mean, of course.
I mean, I figured you would. This for all of you, though. Anyone hesitant about accepting a little bit of strength from a god?
Digger is a bit on the hesitant side, yeah.
Christina's not so much hesitant as just, well, I guess yes, hesitant is a word for that, but it's mostly just because it's not. It's trying to figure out how to respond to that. Because he's asking to protect people, which, yeah. I guess probably eventually would kind of hesitantly speak up. We are unsure how to answer. We are ones who follow the path of the earth, but if the earth is Atula, and if Atula is fighting her natural order, we are unsure how to proceed. We understand the cycle of life and death, and that which we follow may come to an end, but to fight the land, we do not know how to counter that which we protect. And just like trails off at that and slightly looks up at Tyr. How do we return that which is natural for our world if we accept the reach of something beyond it? Can we?
Tyr kneels down to Christona. Child of the earth, the mysteries of nature upon your world are yours to unravel, not mine. I am blocked from viewing Yualia. All of us outside of Yualia itself are. We only see through our instruments, such as Sadok and the others of the blessed hands. If you are concerned, however, allow me to grant you Allow me to grant you the gift of understanding.
Is that one of those gifts but not a gifts thing?
We started to look confused at first and then even more so at Bauer.
No, young mortal. It is a gift. If you are willing, child of the earth.
We wish to do anything in our power to protect our land. Protect the cycle.
Well enough. Tariq kneels, places a single.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it, Flint! No! Get your damn mind out of the gutter!
No, you said Tariq!
Did I?
Yes!
Totally did.
Fuck! Well, that's embarrassing, but for a different reason.
That's double embarrassing because your mind went in the gutter first, asshole!
Only because it thought it was following yours. Because I know your mind is always in the fucking gutter.
Make it too easy.
Sometimes. Anyhow, Tyr kneels down. So he's about eye level with Christona. Reaches out a single finger, touches her on the forehead. Christona, you feel power rushing through you, but you also feel as if your mind has cleared and as if you have a better grasp of what you face. I might be describing this badly, but I will DM you with exactly what Tyr is talking about when he says the gift of understanding.
Cool.
Oh, is anybody super against accepting his gift?
Diggory hasn't decided yet.
Okay.
Because he's not sure what the string is, and he will absolutely not believe there isn't one.
That is fair. That is very fair. Tyr nods at Christona. As his power goes into her, she stands a little taller, looks a little stronger, and a bit more confident than
Might
before.
have a few more mushrooms on the body.
You have several more mushrooms. Several more mushrooms.
The glowy spore underneath the skin.
Tyr will stand, nod down to Christona. I hope the gift serves you well, child of the earth.
We are grateful for help.
And I won't get into what exactly these mean. Tyr will stand. Well, he already stood. Tyr will walk over to probably Diggeroy next. Child of the sea, will you accept my gift?
Your Holiness, I have accepted gifts before that I should not have.
Tyr peers at you. Yes. Some curse. Some sea god's curse. Ugh. Would you like it gone?
I don't know.
Sea god. Tyr keeps peering at the curse. Sea god's curse. Pain. Some small compulsion to keep you loyal. I see. But power with it. I do not offer a pact of any kind, child of the sea. I offer only a gift. There is no obligation to it, save that you use it to do what you've already been doing. Stop Trinity. Help Yualia.
Can you remove the curse?
We sit in the heart of my power, child of the sea. Here there is very little I cannot do. I will, if you wish it.
Please do. It will help me keep my home around.
Help you keep your what, sorry?
Home around.
Tyr smiles softly at you. Good. He kneels down in front of you, similar to what he did with Chrysona, and touches a finger to your forehead. And you feel the curse you've lived with for so long lift. And you feel freed. Beyond that, though, you feel stronger, more confident, more powerful than you were before. He stands. It is done. You are free. We will talk about what exactly that means. DM me afterwards.
Yeah.
Child of the sea, you've been down it. You've had a difficult path. I know. But it will be... You have the power now to make things better, make the world better. To ensure that no other tyrants, like your old captain, arise again. I hope you use it wisely, child of the sea.
I will try.
He nods. Then he stands and moves over to Bauer. Child of man, what do you wish for?
Do you want to be more specific with that question?
Perhaps I should be. One of your number I've given understanding. Another I've given freedom from his chains. I will give you power, child of man. But with that power, is there something you wish for? Something you need? Tears looking, doing his best to look into you.
Mostly just a goal.
A goal.
Also what Christona said.
You search for purpose.
Yes.
Very well. Child of man, I will give you strength, but I will also give you not one, but two purposes. A twofold purpose. First is to stop those who would see the early destruction of this world. Stop those who would rule this place you called home. Trinity amongst them, but Atula, Gamir, all of them. Grow strong, child of man, and stop them. That is the first purpose I give to you. The second, however, is much more difficult. The child of the earth and the child of the sea are, by necessity, bound to where they are from, in one shape or another. Zadok, as a child of the gods, will always think in terms of us, and in terms of those who are his enemies. But you're mortal. You're free. child of man, to choose, to be whatever you wish. And so I give you purpose. You are mortal. Find a mortal solution to this problem that faces your world. Not a solution of gods, of allowing one to win, of breaking the world apart, of releasing one from his prison, but a solution founded on the strength of mortal men. A solution that only one such as you could dream up, or find, or wrest from the grips of darkness. Will you accept this purpose that I have offered you, child?
Sure. It's not like I have anything better to do.
Tyr grins widely at you. I'm glad. Then then young child man, may you have power and purpose to call your own. And Tyr kneels, looks you in the eye, and touches a single finger to your forehead. And you feel stronger, better, faster, smarter, and more confident than before.
More than ever, our.
I look forward to seeing what you will do, child of man. And Bauer, I will DM you later with the specifics of what he just gave you.
Okay.
May your blade strike true, child of man, and may your mind be even sharper. Tyr will stand, and last but not least, head over to Sadok. Sadok, my treasured instrument. Child of the gods. Child of the gods. Your partners have requested purpose, understanding, freedom, along with power. What would you ask of me?
As ever, the strength and conviction to perform my duty.
You have always been a faithful servant to us, Sadok. And as always, we will continue to grant you that strength. and that conviction. However, your conduct here has been exemplary. Take my power. You've earned it. Tyr will kneel one final time, look Sadok in the eyes. He'll smile for this. And touch Sadok on the forehead. And Sadok, you feel better, faster, stronger, more confident. Like your conviction has been sharpened. And like with everybody else, I will DM you exactly what that means later.
Yay.
Tyr stands, looks at the four of you. Now, Nolan, Earth Dream. Yeah. Get back in his head. You're going back with them. Earth Dream sighs. It's back into Sadok's head. Don't get killed, kid. There's two of us up here now.
You're living for two now,
I wasn't
Sadok.
planning on it.
Drinking for two now.
Oh, that's gonna be some fun carousing.
Yeah, Sadok, you do have the high priest of a trickery god living in your head. Enjoy your next carouse. But as soon as Earth Dream dissipates, Tyr stands tall, grows taller, till he's about 15 feet tall. Now, mortals, it's time. You've gained your power, gained your knowledge that you need. Now it is time for you to return to your home. Once you are there, remember what I've told you. Remember what he told you. Earth Dream. And do the right thing. Make this count. All of you. Tyr will wave a hand, concentrate for a moment, and cast a gate directly underneath you all, porting you back to exactly where you were.
Wah! Right on our ass.
And that, I think, is where we're gonna end for tonight, guys.
Fucking A.
So, tier power number 1, that is uniform across all of you guys. Take 2 levels, guys.
What?
Sweet.
Tier figures, you'll need to be at least that strong to deal with what's So yeah, you're level 9 now. And yeah, I will TM you all about your specific blessings. Because they are all different. As soon as I figure out what they all are. Yeah. So, lore dump happened. Surprise! The world's breaking apart, and the only one who's really trying to fix it that you know of is fucking crazy cleric.
I have to say, that's one of the best lore dumps I've ever had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, that's a thing. Take a little bit of time to think about where you kind of want to try going next. Because yeah, I imagine that'll shake priorities a little. Feel free to DM me and ask questions and stuff. And post stuff in downtime. But yeah, surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
For the record, this has been the plan since the beginning. And
Somebody got impatient.
yeah, somebody wanted to jump to the which is fine.
Somebody wanted to jump a couple
But,
levels, but without getting the deck of many things.
Hey, we found the warp zone.
basically, you did a thing that the game wasn't expecting, and it glitched out and gave you a couple of levels and a lot of info. But yeah, yeah, it's really up to you guys. Now, I think that's between what Earthdream told you for certain and his speculation. I think that's all the major lore surprises out of the way. No, there's one or two more, but they won't be lore dump type things.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I stop teasing you guys and just let you go to sleep?
What is the sleep you speak of?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, yeah. Yeah, short of teasing you guys and asking what you thought about the session, I don't have much else to bug you about. Yeah. I'll tell you right now. Earthdream's anima, his speculations about Atula and Gamir's plans. They're reasonably accurate. So keep that in mind going forward. But other than that, yeah. What do you guys think? Comments, questions, concerns, nominations?
Just woo.
No, that was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Sorry, I know it was a lot of talking, but you get neat blessings for sticking through it, and 2 levels.
Nice. Also, obviously, the fact that Tariq can never talk to a god, and then he becomes God.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
I'll make my own godhood with blackjack and hookers.
Fuck the change bearer. I'll be the dollar bill.
Dollar bills, y'all.
The holy gesture is to make it rain. How they bless people.
Yeah. All right.
You have to dump some liquor for your homies.
Pouring one out for the boys. All right.
That's how you revivify.
Basically. Yeah. All right. Yeah, nomination.
Oh, I think it's me. Go Cristona for the bit about the rot.
You.
All right. Congratulations. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's all I got.
I'm just gonna fucking
Oh,
clear
I
out my character sheet because, so much. He's got a little bit better.
Well, we didn't do much rolling tonight.
Yeah.
So,
I was deleting some stuff in the meanwhile. I think I was able to edit it for the levels a little bit faster.
there you go. Yeah, all right. I'm going to get to work on y'all's blessings.
Hashtag blessed.
At least a couple of yours, I know what they're going to be. I'll DM you guys immediately afterwards. The others, I will need to, I'm going to need to take a little bit. Maybe a day or 2.
Cool.
All right. So, yeah. I'm done for tonight. That's all.
Good night.
Cool. Thank you.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.
See.
Problem.